Okay, so this will just be a quick update versus the one that I made one. I'm gonna push it out, and then when you guys see that one, you'll know that's the first one. This is just an add-on to what I didn't finish saying in the first one, like what a successful person really is, right? But just to fill you in, I'm making some Mexican rice. That's the leftover chicken juice from when I was boiling. I was boiling the chicken, like I said, for my puppy and shit, the little legs, and then I got the seasoning. And from what I learned, making like real Mexican rice, kind of like the Humberto rice, I love their fucking rice, man. The Humberto, either out here in Laughlin or out there in Bullhead, they make it from scratch, believe it or not, because I was trying to figure out how to match or like how to do their shit. But the longer you kind of like cook the rice on the oil, the fluffier it gets. And then just the seasoning I add, it's pretty much almost about the same. I almost got it down like that. So right now I'm just cooking that right now. But what I was gonna say towards like I said, the society will push out so much to be like, oh, this is what you gotta do to be successful and this and that, right? Big old house, big car, you know, fancy job, blah blah blah, right? Now a while back I had told my sister some real shit. This is just some, I'm only bringing up my sister because it was a good example versus everyone else that, you know, that I didn't talk to at all. But I had spit some real shit to her at the time. And I told her, you know what, I'm like, I don't give a fuck what other people say as far as like you being successful in life, or like, because people judge one another based on what they read, or like well, not necessarily what they read, but like pretty much, okay, successful to people, right, is like how much money you have, how much credit you got. Do you got a big house? Do you have fancy shit, right? That makes you you because you got all that stuff, right? And a lot of people do, like, what I was trying to get at was that with the reading aspect, like a lot of people will read like stock market shit, or like how to be successful, or this and that, right? These people that you're reading about, you're peeping about, they're making money off you because you bought their fucking book that they told you about, right? It's a psychological thing. Some of these fools are like successful because either they fell into some shit or they were born into some shit. And people that have money, like if you were fucking born as a millionaire or you born into it, they're gonna show you all kinds of fucking psychological tricks, things that you would just never understand. Like on our level, we don't know anything about it, right? Unless you're on the inside, then you'll know exactly like all the shit, you know what I mean? but we po, nigga, we po. So to me, it's kind of like, okay, real success to me personally, because other than what they put out, like I said, they put out all this shit. At the end of the day, it doesn't fucking mean anything, right? Like if you ever watched that movie Baby Boy, when he said it's all about the guns and butter, baby, right? The guns and butter, the stocks and bonds, this and that, right? And then the butter is the floss, right? The gold watches, the chains, this, that, the ride, blah, blah. At the end of the day, don't fucking mean shit. Guns and butter, baby. He's like, y'all stupid motherfuckers, right? It makes sense. Now, when you do time like that fool did, like, you can either do time in here, or you could do real prison time. You could do real jail time, right? Or you could do time like you could be in the government, right? You could be doing army shit, military shit. You'll see a lot of shit. And then once you realize certain shit, you're like, what the fuck, right? So, I mean, I know a lot of cats, man. I know a lot of cats about that shit. But just to put it simple, real quick, is that for me, real success comes for how you change. So, like, if you came from like a drug ass family, right, an abusive fucking family, and you found a way out, and you learned to like change your way of thinking and grow from that, and be like, you know what, I learned to get away from abuse. I learned to do this. I learned to say no to certain individuals. Like you grew, you're successful, right? Because you can't put a price on that. You can't on experience like that, something that deep. You can't put a price on that shit. You know what I mean? You can't buy it. You can't pull it out of your purse and be like, oh yeah, check this out. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I survived and da 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 da. Nah, man. Like, you really have to go through that shit, and that's experience, life experience, you know. So for me, I fully fucking believe that, okay, everything that I've been through, or even certain other individuals that I know that went through fucking hell and back, like they went through some major fucking times, or you know, I met individuals that are pretty like successful, but they used to do heroin. You know what I mean? Like they were forced to change. They went to a fucking program that the court pushed them on, or they did whatever. Like there's a lot of that shit, which is pretty crazy. But at the same time, it's like they came out of it. You know, other than their business and shit like that, I believe and I feel personally, real success is what you change on the inside, what you do up here. You know what I mean? Because you can't put a price on that. You know what I mean? Like you can't put a price on love. You can't buy love. You know what I mean? You can't buy respect. You know what I mean? You can't purchase like whatever you go through in life. Like if you're having a hard time with something, you know what I mean? Like if you grew up abused. You know what I mean? Like if you grew up abused. Or okay, so abuse, like you either grew up abused or you witnessed a lot of gang banging. Maybe you seen someone get shot or one of your friends died. Like, you know, like you suffered some trauma or whatever. Like real shit like that. Like that you're going through. You know what I mean? Like and you find a way out. You come out of it, and you like however it messed you up. It might have messed you up. You know what I mean? And you changed from that, and you grew from that, and then you started helping others and started coaching and, you know, maybe doing really well at your job and shit like that. I feel personally that that's a good thing. That's real success. You know what I'm saying? I feel that that's real success. That's being successful. You know, how you cultivate, how you grow, how you get out of life experiences. You know what I mean? I feel personally like I went through a lot of fucking life experiences, like the gang stuff that I remember being around, the stealing, you know, watching people do drugs and staying away from it. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I might have fell here and there, like I might have dabbled on a couple things, you know, but it wasn't like really like I wanted to. It was just like those life experiences. But I stayed away from all that. You know what I mean? Like I learned to grow away from that. I learned to turn my negativity, or even back home, like all that crazy shit, and turn it into a positive thing. So like that's to me, that's like real success. You know what I'm saying? Like if you could do that and like really beat that shit, like you're doing really good, you know? Like I feel personally that's how you grow. You know what I mean? Any time a form of growth, and you learn to like not hate, you learn to forgive more. You learn to be like, you know how to cultivate yourself and adapt to the situation of any kind. You know what I mean? Like versatile. That's what the term word means, versatile. Like you could drop somebody anywhere, whether it's like in like Compton, like you just get dropped there, and you know you could blend in. Or you get dropped in like LA where there's like a bunch of gang banging Mexicans, or maybe you get dropped in like a CEO area where a bunch of white people, you know what I mean? Like race or jungle or whatever the situation might be, some real harsh shit, you know what I mean? You learn to adapt to it. You know what I mean? That's what versatile means. Like you just anything and anywhere, you know what I mean? And I feel personally like everything that I've tried, like a lot of obstacles that came my way, or pretty much just life in general, like I had to learn to adapt into a lot of situations, into a lot of good ones, a lot of bad ones, you know what I mean? I was very versatile. That's how I feel. I feel personally that I came out of a lot of things. I know a lot of people that told me their stories or their testimonies, and they're successful. You know what I mean? Like up here and in here, you know, like, I mean, yeah, they got their job, they got their house, they got their wife, their kids or whatever, or, you know, maybe their dog or their cat, or however that they go about their business, you know. But me personally, I feel that that's what real success is. You know what I mean? Like purely learning about yourself, purely becoming happy, purely beating all the bad. Because when you are still in that type of stuff, You know, like if you're into the drugs, or if you're into the gangs, or if you're into, I don't know, maybe you got like a sex addiction or a food addiction, or anything that gives you kind of turmoil or suffering, or maybe you're just like too self-reserved for some reason in your comfort zone. You don't know how to get out to like socialize, or you're scared to take up a new relationship, or you're scared to take up a new job, or maybe like look for a better opportunity, or maybe you're scared to move, right? Like you want to move out where you're from. Maybe it's just a shitty little place, you know, and you want to upgrade or something, or you want to buy that new car, but you're not so sure if you can make it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like those things, you know what I mean, that you learn to change and really get out of like bondage. That's what I want to call it. I'll call it bondage. You know what I mean? If you want that, you really want it. You know what I mean? And sometimes people are so torn up on the inside where they don't know how to get out. You know what I mean? But that's why, like in the Shaolin Temple, dude, like Mr. Shahan Lee, he says, some people don't know how to adapt to the change. Some people don't know how to change. He's like, sometimes you either, he's like, there's only a couple options, right? You either find a way to push through, to get through it, to make it, right? If not, it becomes on a real high scale where it's like, okay, now survive. Now you gotta survive. Like that happened to me. You know what I mean? Like when I was in Victorville, something really fucking bad was trying to get on me, like really like negative force, trying to destroy me, right? And I knew like I have to get out. I have to survive. And it pushed me, even though I really didn't want to leave the home. I didn't really want to leave Victorville because I felt like I was being punked out of my own town, right? It wasn't anything like that. It was just change. It was just accepting the change, learning. It was real hard to adapt to, like the feeling I felt, you know, it was like, it was a struggle. But you know what, to be honest, it was the best thing I ever did in my life. You know what I mean? All that shit was ugly. Everything that was there, like that I was holding on to, or whatever the fuck it was just ugly, and it was trying to destroy me. And I had that instinct where I was like, okay, now this is survival. Now I gotta get the fuck out of here. I gotta find a way to get the fuck out of here. You know, and thank God my mom happened to be in town, coming from my grandma's, and picked me up, and she's like, let's just go now. We gotta go now. You know what I mean? And I'm like, fuck, you know, like I was in some deep shit at one point. You know what I mean? And whether it was me or someone else or whatever, but I was out. I was like, I got out. You know, and ever since I got out, I was doing really well. I've been doing really well. You know what I mean? But there is a lot of skeevy ass motherfuckers that want to come my way and they want to pull me down, you know, and they pull me down in so many different types of ways that sometimes I was blinded to this shit and I was like, what the fuck? Like, where's all this negativity coming from? You know what I mean? And, you know, it gets hard. I mean, of course, you want someone there to care. When you don't have nobody, you know what I mean? And it's just you, it sucks. It really sucks. But you know what? You have to do what you got to do for you. And once you get past that level and you're doing good, and I mean, you've been surviving the whole time, right? And doing it alone, even in your hurting time. Just get out of the hurt. Get out of the hurt. Keep pushing. Do what you got to do. And no matter what it is, you'll get there. You know what I mean? You'll get there and you'll be where you need to be. And you know, you'll be loved. You'll find love. You'll find somebody. You know what I mean? Like you'll find a friend or whatever it is that you're in search for. You'll be rewarded for getting out of the bad stuff. You know what I mean? No matter how long it takes, even after that. I mean, I believe it's mainly like how well you treat yourself. You know what I mean? You get yourself out, treat yourself really well, show it to God, show it to, you know, Jesus, show it to them. Hey, look, I've changed. I want to change. Please. You know what I mean? Like, He'll give you gifts. He'll give you blessings. He'll bless you. Right now, I don't know what my lesson is right now. Like, I know that there's something around the corner, but I feel that I'm not figuring something out. It's a small little thing. I just need to tweet it, and boom, it's just gonna light off. I know it is. And it's probably just me. It's probably me holding myself back from whatever, you know what I mean? But I think that's the real key to life. You have the key. You just need to know what your lock mechanisms are to open what you really want. What God knows He's got lined up for you. You know what I mean? And that's why they say His timing is correct. Yeah, because He knows when you're going to open up. He knows when you're ready. if you're not ready, even like I said, mine's just a little tweet away. It's just a matter of time until it happens. You know what I mean? So anyways, that was my whole thing about the success thing. I'm gonna cut this off. Yeah, so just basically, you know, that's how I look at it. Like you're that's how you become successful. You know what I mean? I don't care if you're broke or if you ain't got what you want, or other people are like, oh, you ain't got no ride like me, you ain't got no house like me, you ain't got no TV like me, and da-da-da-da-da, or look at these Nikes, fool, with you. It's all materialistic shit. Now, if we're all naked and we ain't got nothing, how does that make you better than me? If we're both standing here butt naked, right? Oh, well, you used to have that house, so you're better than me. Fuck no, dude. You know how many other people that are probably way successful more than fucking you? Because you got a house, you got a ride, you got, oh, I got this cash, you know, I'm riding hard. Nigga, there's somebody else across the world that's got million times fold than you. He's probably got 5 fucking mansions, bunch of bitches, bunch of fucking girls, you know? So, to me, that ain't nothing. You know what I mean? You think you know because you're like, oh, I'm flossing, I got it down. You know, you need to find out how to get more confidence. Like, you're using materialistic shit to help your fucking self-esteem. You know what I mean? Or all that makeup, or the fake boob job, or the ass thing. You know what I mean? Or like, oh, I gotta get a bigger dick. You know what I'm saying? There's so many concepts that go into things, and it's like, dude, just work on what's going on the inside. You know what I mean? Like even when I was broke back home and I didn't have shit, people loved me. People wanted to take me out all the time and hang out with me because of my personality. The way I loved, the way I cared, the way I actually paid attention to people. You know what I mean? Like, I sent out the right message. And that was just fundamentally me. Still to this day, I'm still a fucking great guy. You know what I mean? I'm still a good person. People want to take advantage of that. I know how other people feel. I know how females feel when it comes to, you know, being alone and they got kids. And then the guy's like, oh, I'm going to go and lay up in here, you know, and sweet talk this bitch and act like I'm going to be a daddy and whoop-de-whoop. But he's just trying to lay up in the cut for the 6 months until he builds enough revenue, and then boom, he bounces out. Why? Because they're not his real kids. He don't give a fuck. He was just playing that shit. But you fucked the chick up. You know what I mean? You fucked the chick up. I've never played that shit. Like, fuck no. You know what I mean? I mean, I would be really good with the girl's kid, but she already knew what it was when it was like, oh, okay, well, I'm just here, and you know, I didn't cross shit like that. But women do it too. So don't get me wrong. Men do it. Women do it too. Women will use that against you if they know you got a good heart, and they're like, oh, I see the way he gravitates to my kids. He's ground attached. He loves them. Now I'm gonna play this motherfucker. You know what I mean? I see it. I've been through it all, man. I don't even need a flat surface to you. Some things I might not get, but I will understand it, and I will get it later. And that's just kind of like, oh, I don't know why people are just messaging me all of a sudden. but people know, you know what I mean? People know how to get to you in the wrong ways. But for me, it's like when I see that now, it's like, you know, other things I just try to figure out. Like, if I'm really curious or if it's hitting me a certain way, I'm like, I want to know why, what's triggering me, why is that happening? Some people like to hide, you know, like maybe they hide for a little bit, like, I don't want to tell them anything, or, you know, eventually you can only hide for so long, nigga, because I'm gonna have that flashlight on you, like, okay, now you gotta answer me, look at me, you know what I mean? Because the truth always comes out. I don't give a fuck how fucking slick you think you are, or how you're hiding, or whatever like that. Even sometimes you might not even have to say anything, and then when I start thinking about it and putting the puzzle together, oh, okay, now I know whose you are now I know why, and I don't need that proof. I already know. You know what I mean? I don't need to prove it. I don't need to write it down. I don't need none of that. I could just step back and be like, peace out. You know what I mean? And then that's that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you're successful here and up here and in here. You know what I mean? You figure that out, and you do good with you. That's what makes you really successful. So don't be listening to all these fools that think they know it all and shit like that. And they really don't. They really don't. They think they fucking know, but they don't. But anyways, that's my Mexican rice right there. Ooh, son. Look at that. Look at that. It still needs to settle. But I just wanted to show you real quick. I put the top on because it's going to take a cool little minute. It's already been sitting there for a little while, so I'll just put it for 10 minutes. And then I'll take the top off, turn it, spin it, you know, spin it. And then let it sit like for another 15 minutes, let it air out, and it's gonna be good to go. And it's bomb. I'll eat that shit with the lettuce, you know. I have the lettuce in here. I got the fucking cilantro, cucumbers. I'm gonna save the rest of that for tomorrow. There's some soup in there, and like I said, I was gonna get that Snickers, and I'm gonna eat that like a girl on her period. I'm gonna fucking lay there and be like, oh, you caught me. You caught me. Y'all bitches, man. Anyways, you guys have a good night. And that was the secondary to what I had missed on the first video. So now this is like where the success, how you're successful. So that was just to fill in on that, because I kind of skip around on my videos. But like I said, I'm always gonna apologize if I'm a little off on that or whatever. But you guys have a great night. And I hope you guys enjoy part 1 and part 2. All right, later.